The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with excitement. Hundreds of alien races from across the Milky Way gathered for their annual meeting. The room was a sea of strange colors and shapes. Some aliens had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few even floated in the air. At the center of the chamber stood a circular platform. Here, the most important members of the council sat. They looked down at the rest of the aliens with smug faces. These were the races that had been in space for thousands of years. They thought they knew everything. Among the crowd, a human woman named Sarah Chen stood quietly. She was Earth's first diplomat to the Galactic Council. Sarah wore a simple blue uniform with a small Earth flag on her shoulder. She tried to blend in, but it was hard. Humans were new to the galactic community, and many aliens stared at her with curiosity or disgust. The head of the council, a tall alien with shimmering purple skin, raised his hand. The room fell silent. Today, he said in a booming voice, we discuss the military capabilities of our newest friends. He looked at Sarah with a smirk. The humans. Laughter erupted from the crowd. Sarah felt her cheeks get hot, but she kept a straight face. She knew this was coming. Humans were seen as the babies of the galaxy. No one took them seriously. An alien with 4 arms and green scales stood up. I've seen their ships, he said with a chuckle. They're like toys compared to ours. I bet my personal yacht could destroy their entire fleet. More laughter filled the room. Sarah clenched her fists but remained silent. This wasn't the time to speak up. Not yet. Another alien, this one looking like a giant caterpillar, spoke next. And their weapons, they still used projectiles, actual physical bullets. The alien's whole body shook with laughter. How quaint. It's like watching cavemen with clubs. The insults kept coming. One by one, different aliens stood up to mock Earth's military. They made fun of human ships, weapons, and even the soldiers themselves. Some comments were mean, others were just dismissive. But they all had one thing in common. No one thought humans were a threat. Sarah listened to it all. She heard them call humans weak, primitive, and a joke. But she didn't react. She had a secret, one that would change everything. But for now, she had to wait. As the mockery continued, Sarah noticed something interesting. The aliens weren't just making fun of humans. They were also bragging about their own militaries. Without meaning to, they were giving away important information. Sarah learned about the energy shields of the Zorkax, the stealth technology of the Bleen, and the psychic warriors of the Thothra. She memorized every detail, knowing it would be useful later. Hours passed, and still the council wasn't done mocking humans. Sarah's legs were tired from standing, but she didn't show it. She kept her head high, her face neutral. She was representing all of humanity. She wouldn't let them see her sweat. Finally, the head of the council raised his hand again. The room quieted down. Well, he said, looking at Sarah with pity, does the human representative have anything to say? Any. Defense for your species. All eyes turned to Sarah. This was her chance to speak, to defend Earth's honor, to tell them about the secret that would change everything. But Sarah just smiled politely and shook her head. No, sir, she said in a calm voice. I have nothing to add at this time. The aliens looked surprised. They had expected her to get angry or upset. Instead, she stood there, calm as ever. It made some of them uncomfortable. What was this human hiding? As the meeting ended and the aliens started to leave, Sarah finally allowed herself a small smirk. Let them laugh, she thought. Let them underestimate us. They have no idea what's coming. She looked up at the sky through the chamber's clear dome. Somewhere up there, hidden from view, Earth's greatest achievement was waiting. And soon, very soon, it would make its grand entrance. The aliens had their fun today, but tomorrow, humanity would have the last laugh. The next day, the Galactic Council gathered again. The aliens were still buzzing about yesterday's meeting, Many were laughing, remembering the jokes they made about humans. Sarah Chen stood in her usual spot, quiet and composed. Suddenly, the chamber grew dark. The aliens looked up, confused. Through the clear dome, they saw something blocking the sun. At first, it was just a tiny dot, but it grew larger and larger. "What is that?" someone shouted. The room erupted in chaos. Aliens rushed to the windows, pushing and shoving to get a better look. As the object got closer, they realized it wasn't a planet or an asteroid. It was a ship, a massive, Earth-made ship. The ship was huge, bigger than anything the aliens had ever seen. It was sleek and dark, with strange markings along its hull. As it moved into position above the council chamber, its shadow covered the entire building. Gasps filled the room. Some aliens cowered in fear. Others stood frozen in shock. The ship was so close they could see every detail. Its surface gleamed with advanced technology that even the oldest races couldn't understand. In the middle of the chaos, Sarah Chen calmly walked to the center platform. She cleared her throat, and somehow her voice carried over the panicked crowd. "Members of the Galactic Council," she said, her voice strong and clear. "Allow me to introduce you to the Thunderchild, Earth's first galactic dreadnought." The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Sarah, then back to the massive ship hovering above them. "Yesterday, you mocked our military," Sarah continued. "You called us weak, primitive, a joke." She paused, looking around the room. "Today, we show you how wrong you were." The head of the council, his purple skin now pale with fear, stepped forward. What is the meaning of this?" he stammered. "Is this a declaration of war?" Sarah smiled. "No, sir. This is a declaration of peace. We come not to conquer, but to join you as equals." As if on cue, the Thunderchild's engines flared to life. The ship moved slowly, positioning itself directly over the council chamber. Then, with a soft hum, it began to lower itself. The aliens watched in awe as the massive ship descended. It stopped just above the building, close enough that they could feel the heat from its engines. "The Thunderchild," Sarah explained, "is the most advanced warship in the galaxy. It has weapons you've never dreamed of, defenses that can withstand any attack, and technology that will take you centuries to understand." She walked around the platform, making eye contact with each council member. "But we didn't build it for war. We built it to protect, to defend, to keep peace in the galaxy." A brave alien stepped forward. How did you build this without us knowing?" Sarah grinned. "We're full of surprises. While you were laughing at us, we were working, learning, growing. And now we're ready to take our place among the stars." The Thunderchild's main hatch opened with a hiss. A ramp extended down to the council chamber. Sarah gestured towards it. "Who would like a tour?" she asked. The aliens looked at each other, unsure. Yesterday, they thought humans were a joke. Now they realized how wrong they were. The humans weren't just equals. They might be the most advanced race in the galaxy. Slowly, tentatively, the council members began to move towards the ramp. Their fear was mixing with curiosity. They wanted to see inside this incredible ship. As the aliens filed past her, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The plan had worked perfectly. In just one day, they had gone from laughingstock to the most respected race in the galaxy. The Thunderchild hummed softly overhead, a symbol of Earth's power and ingenuity. And as Sarah prepared to lead the tour, she knew one thing for certain. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. As the alien delegates filed into the Thunderchild, their eyes widened in awe. The ship's interior was a marvel of technology and design. Sleek corridors stretched as far as the eye could see, lit by a soft blue glow that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Sarah Chen led the group, her steps confident and measured. She stopped in front of a large holographic display that sprang to life at her approach. "Welcome aboard the Thunderchild," she said, her voice echoing slightly in the vast chamber. This ship represents the pinnacle of human engineering and innovation. The aliens murmured among themselves, their earlier mockery forgotten in the face of such impressive technology. Sarah gestured to the hologram, which showed a detailed 3D model of the ship. The Thunderchild is 5 kilometers long, 2 kilometers wide, and 1 kilometer tall. It can house a crew of 10,000 and carry an additional 50,000 troops if needed. The alien diplomats gasped. Even their largest ships were barely a quarter of this size. But size isn't everything. Sarah continued with a smile. Let me show you what makes the Thunderchild truly special. She led them down a corridor to a massive window overlooking the ship's main hangar. Inside, hundreds of smaller spacecraft sat ready for launch. Each of these fighters, Sarah explained, is equipped with an AI that can outmaneuver any living pilot. They can operate in space or in atmosphere, and their energy shields can withstand direct hits from most known weapons. An alien with tentacles for arms raised one appendage. How did you develop such advanced AI? It asked, voice trembling slightly. Sarah's smile widened. That's our secret, but I can tell you this, it's just the beginning of what we can do. The tour continued, with Sarah revealing more and more of the ship's capabilities. She showed them the Thunderchild's main cannon, a weapon so powerful it could crack a small moon in half. She demonstrated the ship's stealth technology, which could make the massive vessel virtually invisible to sensors. But it was the engine room that truly left the aliens speechless. As they entered the cavernous chamber, a soft humming filled the air. At the center stood a massive spherical structure, pulsing with energy. This, Sarah said, her voice filled with pride, is the heart of the Thunderchild, our antimatter reactor. The aliens stepped back in shock. Antimatter technology was theoretical for most races, and even the most advanced had only managed to create tiny amounts in controlled lab settings. It provides near-limitless power, Sarah explained. Enough to keep the Thunderchild running at full capacity for years without refueling. One of the older aliens, a being with crystalline skin, stepped forward. This is impossible, it said. Your race was throwing rocks at each other just a few centuries ago. How did you advance so quickly? Sarah's expression grew serious. Necessity, she replied, and determination. When we realized we weren't alone in the universe, we knew we had to be ready. For anything. The tour concluded in the ship's command center. Here, holographic displays showed real-time data from across the galaxy. Crew members worked at advanced consoles, monitoring every aspect of the ship's operations. The Thunderchild isn't just a warship, Sarah said, addressing the now silent group of aliens. It's a mobile command center, a diplomatic vessel, and a symbol of humanity's place in the galaxy. She turned to face the group, her eyes filled with determination. We came here today not to threaten, but to extend a hand in friendship. Earth is ready to join the galactic community as an equal partner. We bring with us knowledge, technology, and a desire for peace. The alien diplomats looked at each other, their earlier mockery and dismissal of humans completely forgotten. They realized that in underestimating humanity, they had nearly made a terrible mistake. As Sarah prepared to lead them back to the council chamber, she knew that everything had changed. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. And that was exactly what Earth had been counting on. As the alien delegates returned to the council chamber, a tense atmosphere filled the air. The once mocking faces now showed a mix of awe, fear, and curiosity. Sarah Chen stood confidently at the center, ready to address the gathered races. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and strong. You've seen what humanity is capable of. Now let's discuss our future together. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices. Some aliens shouted questions, others demanded explanations, and a few even called for immediate action against this perceived threat. Amidst the chaos, a tall, reptilian alien rose. This was Ambassador Zix of the Zorkax, known for their aggressive stance and powerful military. His scales shimmered menacingly as he spoke. "Humans," he hissed, "you bring this weapon to our peaceful gathering. How can we trust that you come in peace?" Sarah met his gaze steadily. "The Thunderchild is a shield, not a sword. We built it to protect, not to conquer." Another alien, a floating cloud of gas named Nebula, chimed in. "But why keep it secret? Why not share your advancements with the galactic community?" Sarah smiled diplomatically. "Would you have believed us if we had simply told you? Sometimes actions speak louder than words." The chamber fell silent as the aliens pondered this. They realized that their own prejudices had blinded them to humanity's potential. Suddenly, a small rodent-like alien scurried forward. This was Dr. Squeak of the Rat Attack, known for their scientific brilliance. I must know," he squeaked excitedly. "How does your antimatter reactor work? The energy readings are off the charts." Sarah chuckled. "I'm afraid that's classified information, Doctor, but we're open to collaborative research projects in the future." As the discussions continued, it became clear that the alien races were divided in their reactions. Some, like the Zorkax, saw humans as a potential threat. Others, like the scientifically minded Rat Attack, were eager to learn from this new advanced race. Ambassador Zix stepped forward again, his eyes narrowed. "We cannot simply accept this upstart race into our ranks. They must prove themselves worthy." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Many aliens nodded, still wary of the humans and their incredible technology. Sarah remained calm. She had anticipated this reaction. "What do you propose, Ambassador?" Zix's tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "A challenge, a test of your military prowess. If you truly come in peace, surely you won't object to a friendly competition." The chamber grew quiet, all eyes on Sarah. This was a crucial moment. How she responded could determine humanity's place in the galactic community. Sarah took a deep breath, then smiled. "We accept your challenge, Ambassador. Name the terms." Excitement buzzed through the room. The aliens hadn't expected the humans to agree so readily. Zix grinned, showing rows of sharp teeth. "A simulated battle. Your Thunderchild against our best fleet. We'll see if your ship is as impressive in combat as it is on display." Sarah nodded. "Agreed. But let's make it interesting. If we win, Earth gains a seat on the Galactic Council. If we lose, we'll share the schematics of the Thunderchild with all races." Gasps echoed through the chamber. It was a bold proposal. Either outcome would dramatically change the balance of power in the galaxy. Zix hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Agreed. Prepare yourselves, humans. The battle will commence in 3 galactic rotations." As the council session adjourned, aliens rushed to spread the news. The upcoming battle between the humans and the Zorkax would be the most anticipated event in centuries. Sarah watched them go, a small smile playing on her lips. The challenge was set. The stage was prepared. Now, it was time for humanity to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. As she turned to leave, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The future of Earth and the galactic community rested on the outcome of this battle. But she was confident. After all, humanity had always thrived when faced with a challenge. The 3 galactic rotations passed in a blur of activity. The news of the upcoming battle spread like wildfire across the cosmos. Every race, from the farthest reaches of the galaxy, tuned in to watch the showdown between the humans and the Zorkax. On the day of the battle, the Thunderchild hovered majestically in space, its dark hull gleaming against the backdrop of stars. Opposite it, the Zorkax fleet assembled, a formidable array of sleek, predatory ships that had struck fear into the hearts of many races. Inside the Thunderchild's command center, Sarah Chen stood calmly, surveying the enemy fleet. Around her, the human crew worked efficiently at their stations, their faces a mix of determination and excitement. "Status report," Sarah called out. A young officer responded, All systems green, Captain. The simulation protocols are active. We're ready to begin on your command. Sarah nodded, her eyes never leaving the main view screen. Remember, she addressed her crew, this isn't just about winning. It's about showing the galaxy who we really are. Suddenly, a communication channel opened. Ambassador Zix's reptilian face filled the screen, his scales glittering with anticipation. Are you ready to face true galactic power, humans? He hissed, a smug grin on his face. Sarah met his gaze steadily. We're ready, Ambassador. May the best tactician win. With a flick of his tongue, Zix cut the communication. Moments later, the battle began. The Zorkax ships surged forward, their weapons blazing. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked across space towards the Thunderchild. But the human ship remained motionless, seemingly vulnerable. Gasps echoed across the observing alien races. Had the humans frozen in fear? But Sarah Chen smiled. Just as the Zorkax weapons were about to hit, the Thunderchild shimmered and vanished. Stealth systems engage, reported an officer. The Zorkax fleet faltered, confused by their target's disappearance. That's when the Thunderchild struck. Reappearing behind the enemy fleet, the human ship launched a barrage of advanced missiles. Each missile split into dozens of smaller projectiles, overwhelming the Zorkax defenses. Direct hits on multiple targets, called out the weapons officer. Sarah nodded, her face a mask of concentration. Initiate Maneuver Omega. Let's show them what this ship can really do. The Thunderchild moved with impossible grace for a ship its size. It weaved through the Zorkax formation, its point defense systems neutralizing incoming fire while its main cannons picked off enemy ships one by one. In the Galactic observation chambers, aliens watched in awe. The humans were not just holding their own. They were dominating the battle. Ambassador Zix's face appeared on the screen again, this time etched with disbelief. How are you doing this? He demanded. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. We learned from the best, Ambassador. Every race in this galaxy has something to teach. We just paid attention. The battle raged on. The Zorkax tried every tactic in their arsenal, but the Thunderchild always seemed to be one step ahead. Its eye-powered systems predicted and countered each move before it could be executed. As the last Zorkax ship fell to the Thunderchild's weapons, a stunned silence fell over the galaxy. The simulation ended, and the results were clear. Humanity had won. In the council chamber, the alien races buzzed with excitement and fear. The humans had proven themselves beyond any doubt. Sarah Chen stood before them once again, her posture relaxed but confident. Members of the Galactic Council, she began, we came here not to conquer, but to cooperate. Yes, we have advanced technology. Yes, we can defend ourselves. But what we truly offer is partnership. She paused, looking around the room. Earth is ready to take its place among the stars. We bring with us not just our strength, but our creativity, our adaptability, and our unwavering spirit. Together, we can achieve greatness beyond imagination. As Sarah's words echoed through the chamber, the aliens began to nod. They realized that humanity wasn't a threat to be feared, but an ally to be embraced. With a unanimous vote, Earth was granted a seat on the Galactic Council. As Sarah took her place among the galaxy's leaders, she knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's journey among the stars had truly begun. In the weeks following Earth's admission to the Galactic Council, the galaxy buzzed with excitement. Alien races from every corner of space clamored to establish relations with humanity. The Thunderchild, once a source of fear, had become a symbol of hope and progress. Sarah Chen found herself busier than ever. As Earth's chief diplomat, she attended countless meetings, forging alliances and negotiating treaties. Today, she stood in a grand hall on the planet Zorkax Prime, facing none other than Ambassador Zix himself. The reptilian alien scales shimmered nervously as he addressed Sarah. Human, he began, his voice lacking its usual hiss. I wish to formally apologize for our earlier hostility. Sarah nodded graciously. Apology accepted, Ambassador. We look forward to a future of cooperation between our races. Zix's tongue flicked out, tasting the air. But I must know, he said, leaning in close. How did you advance so quickly? What is the secret of human ingenuity? Sarah smiled mysteriously. There's no secret, Ambassador. Just determination, creativity, and an insatiable curiosity about the universe. As they continued their discussion, a commotion erupted outside the hall. Alarmed voices echoed through the corridors. Moments later, a Zorkax aide burst into the room, his scales pale with fear. Ambassador, he cried, we're under attack. An unknown force has entered our system. Sarah and Zix rushed to the nearest window. In the sky above, a massive fleet of ships, unlike anything they'd ever seen before, loomed menacingly. They were organic in appearance, more like giant space-dwelling creatures than constructed vessels. What are they? Zix whispered, his earlier bravado completely gone. Sarah's mind raced. In all of Earth's encounters with alien life, they'd never come across anything like this. I don't know, she admitted, but we need to act fast. She tapped her communicator. Thunderchild, this is Chen. We have a situation. Within moments, the familiar shape of the Thunderchild appeared in the sky, positioning itself between the Zorkax planet and the alien fleet. Captain Chen, came the response from the Thunderchild's acting commander. We're reading massive energy signatures from the unknown vessels. They're like nothing we've ever encountered. Sarah's mind whirled with possibilities. This was why humanity had built the Thunderchild, not just to impress, but to protect. Initiate first contact protocols, she ordered. But be ready for anything. As the Thunderchild attempted to communicate with the alien fleet, Sarah turned to Zix. Ambassador, we need to evacuate your people. Can you mobilize your defense forces? Zix nodded, already barking orders into his own communication device. The earlier animosity between human and Zorkax was forgotten in the face of this new threat. Suddenly, the sky lit up with energy beams from the alien ships. They weren't aiming at the planet or the Thunderchild, but rather at the space between them. They're opening a portal, shouted the Thunderchild's science officer over the comm. Some kind of spatial rift. Sarah watched in awe as a swirling vortex of energy formed in space. Through it, she could see glimpses of another galaxy, vastly different from their own. It's an invasion, she realized aloud. They're not just attacking Zorkax, they're invading our entire galaxy. As if in response to her words, thousands of smaller craft began pouring through the portal. The Thunderchild immediately engaged, its advanced weapons blazing. All Galactic Council races, Sarah broadcast on all frequencies. This is Earth Ambassador Sarah Chen. We are facing an extragalactic invasion. I repeat, we are facing an invasion from outside our galaxy. All available ships converge on the Zorkax system immediately. She turned to Zix, her eyes blazing with determination. Ambassador, it seems the galaxy needs humanity's help sooner than we expected. Will you fight alongside us? Zix straightened, his earlier fear replaced by resolve. The Zorkax stand with Earth, he declared. Together, we will defend our galaxy. As battle erupted in the skies above, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. The true test of humanity's place in the galaxy had arrived, and she was determined to prove that Earth was ready for the challenge. The battle raged across the Zorkax system. The sky blazed with weapons fire as ships from across the galaxy joined the fight against the invaders. The Thunderchild led the charge, its advanced technology proving invaluable against the alien threat. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Thunderchild, coordinating the galactic defense. Around her, a mix of human crew and alien representatives worked together, their earlier differences forgotten in the face of this common enemy. Status report. Sarah called out, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. A young human officer responded. "The invaders keep coming through the portal, Captain, but we're holding the line. The Zorkax fleet is protecting their homeworld, and reinforcements from other races are arriving every minute." Sarah nodded, her mind racing. They couldn't keep fighting forever. They needed a way to close that portal. Suddenly, Ambassador Zix's voice crackled over the comm. "Humans, we've analyzed the portal's energy signature. It's similar to an ancient Zorkax technology we abandoned centuries ago. Too dangerous, we thought." Sarah's eyes widened. "Can you reverse it? Close the portal from our side?" Zix hissed in frustration. "Possible, but it would require tremendous power, more than any of our ships can generate." A smile spread across Sarah's face. "But not more than the Thunderchild can generate. Zix, send us the data. We're going to close that portal." As the Zorkax transmitted the information, Sarah turned to her crew. "Divert all non-essential power to the main cannon. We're going to modify it to emit a reverse portal beam." The crew sprang into action, human and alien minds working together to solve this galactic threat. Outside, the battle intensified. Ships from a dozen different races fought side by side, covering the Thunderchild as it prepared for its crucial role. "Portal reversal beam ready, Captain," announced the weapons officer after several tense minutes. Sarah took a deep breath. "Target the center of the portal. Fire when ready." The Thunderchild's main cannon glowed with energy, then released a massive beam straight into the heart of the swirling vortex. The portal's edges began to waver and distort. "It's working," shouted a Rat-Attack scientist, his whiskers quivering with excitement. "The portal is destabilizing." But the invaders weren't giving up without a fight. A massive organic ship, larger than any they'd seen yet, emerged from the portal. It headed straight for the Thunderchild, intent on stopping their plan. "Evasive maneuvers," Sarah ordered, "but keep that beam on target." The Thunderchild weaved through space, dodging attacks while maintaining its beam on the portal. Other ships from the Galactic Alliance moved to intercept the massive invader ship, buying the humans time. The portal grew smaller, its edges collapsing inward. Invader ships scrambled to retreat back through the shrinking opening. The massive organic ship, realizing its invasion had failed, turned to flee. "Don't let it escape," Sarah commanded. "If it returns to its galaxy, they might try this again." In a coordinated attack, ships from every race in the Galactic Council focused their fire on the retreating invader. Zorkax plasma torpedoes, Rat-Attack particle beams, and weapons from a dozen other races joined the Thunderchild's attack. The massive ship shuddered under the assault, then exploded in a blinding flash. Moments later, the portal collapsed entirely, winking out of existence. A cheer went up across every ship in the Allied fleet. They had done it. Together, they had repelled an invasion that threatened their entire galaxy. In the days that followed, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Sarah Chen stood before them once again. But this time, there was no mockery or doubt in the aliens' eyes, only respect and gratitude. "Members of the Council," Sarah began, her voice carrying across the chamber. "We faced an unprecedented threat, and we prevailed. Not because of any one race's strength, but because we stood united." She paused, looking around the room. "Humanity is honored to be part of this galactic community. We pledge to use our knowledge and technology not for dominance, but for the betterment of all races." The chamber erupted in applause. One by one, representatives from every race stood, showing their support for Earth and its people. As Sarah took her seat at the council table, she knew that a new era had begun. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had helped forge a stronger, more united galaxy. Whatever challenges the future held, they would face them together. The Thunderchild, once a symbol of Earth's power, now represented something greater, the strength of a galaxy united. And as Sarah looked out at the stars, she couldn't help but smile. Their greatest adventures were just beginning.